And peace to the righteous Muslim gods. Assalamu alaikum. Hakeem.
Uh,
Y'all brothers can
Peace
hear
to the
me?
God. Peace, God.
peace to the gods.
Peace, peace. Yeah. Yeah. So let me get y'all on here, tonight, to build with the brothers, you know what I mean? I ain't seen the God, Mike God in a minute. I ain't built with my brother in a minute too, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
praises due.
I saw the little interview with Professor Griff. That was peace too, God. You
Indeed.
know what I'm
Peace to the
saying?
God. All praises
Yeah,
due.
yeah. I just wish it could have been a little longer. Y'all gave him like a little snippet, little bill,
Yeah,
you know.
there was other people waiting to interview him that night. It was after he did a lecture with him and Terminator X where they put the actual while Griff was teaching with his PowerPoints
Uh,
dealing with hip hop.
mm,
Terminator X will throw on the song. So if they show a Run DMC, he would throw on some Run DMC. They
yeah,
show Public Enemy, throw on some Public Enemy. If they show Cash Money, throw on some. So it was like putting visual and the music together, and so
yeah,
it
yeah.
worked out real dope.
Yeah. It looked like it was a dope event, you know what I'm saying? They had like a little joint out here. This was like a couple weeks ago. I went to Chubb Rock who was out here performing,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So I
okay.
went through and yeah, Flatbush, I feel respect the Flatbush man them, Chubb Rock,
Yes,
he was up
sir.
in there, he had the hip hop going, he had the reggae going, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, that was peace. There's like everybody was up in there, at least like 40, 45, 50, you know what I mean? No young heads up in there. I like stuff
No
like
doubt,
that.
no
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
Chubb
that
Rock
was
was my
peace.
dude, man.
Yeah, Chubb. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I met him. He came to North Carolina and we hung out together.
Yeah,
He did some promotional things and performed at a place in North Carolina. I got a
yeah,
picture with him somewhere. I had to pull it up.
yeah. Yeah, it was peace, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, every now and then they be having little shows come through here. You know what I'm saying? I try to check them out. When I was in Houston, I remember Rakim was out there one time. And
Okay.
I missed that. And I caught the brand Nubian joint, but I missed the Rakim. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, God, like I said, I'm just on here tonight, just building. The brother Jihad. Me and him was building earlier today, and he just had like a few points that he wanted to just to expound on dealing with just the conversation uh the five percenters
Right.
connection you know, um, and some of the things that the brothers was building on that the God wanted to kind of elaborate on as well. I'm trying to get the brothers to kind of put together like a little team of scholars. Like I told them, I told what's his name, Minister Freedom. I told him I was like, yo, get like 3, 4, your scholars or whatever, and I get 3, 4 of the Muslim gods, and we can dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Because I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of good will come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, sir.
And not only that, but it would just show the masses that, as intelligent people, we consider ourselves to be gods. So because we're gods, we're showing you this is what gods do. This is what
That's
intelligent
right.
people do. Intelligent people dialogue, you
Right.
know. You got
True
presidential
indeed.
dialogues, debates and stuff. I mean, you got all kind of, why can't we debate in the best
Right.
of manners? So but yeah,
Indeed.
God, as far as just the term Muslim God and everything, a lot of people still are, get tripped up over this word and everything. I wanted Brother Jihad to kind of go, you know, just into some of the history of that terminology, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, by the
Too, I
way,
just
I was gonna say, by the way, I like your shirt too, God.
yeah. You know what I mean? It's classic. That's a classic right there.
Yeah, true
I used to
indeed.
sell the button too of this same image right here. I used to
Mm,
sell a button with
yeah,
that
All
too on
praise
it.
to the Lord.
So yes, um I wanted to say too, even before I do that, I just wanted to commend brother Minister Freedom Minister Freedom, and the other God name was his name IC, I believe.
Yeah, I see Allah.
I see Allah. Yes, sir. I mean, I wanted to commend them as well as yourself just for the civilized manner in which I built. You know what I mean? I thought that was peace because, you know, it showed that we could have opposing views or differing views without, you know what I'm saying, being uncivilized towards one another. Like, you know, because only the devil wins when we, you know, come at each other in that manner, you know. So
Right.
just wanted to say that was mad peace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it seems like the term itself, Muslim God, it generates a lot of emotion. I would say emotion, you know,
Mm.
and people kind of have their own idea of what Muslim means, you know, to them.
Mm.
But you know, in our nation, we taught to deal with, you know, the foundation. You know, we deal with the foundation. Like all of a sudden, you know, I notice a lot of guys like to take the Sunni understanding the Muslim when it comes to it, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
you tell them, well, we don't see it in that same exact light,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're like stick to it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a commonality in terms of the definition they use. It's
Mm.
definitely a commonality. I don't want to deny in terms of the word submission itself, right? Because
Right.
that is very key. But
Mm.
most of the times when you see the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad define Muslim, he just basically says simply that Muslim means righteousness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That in a nutshell, that to be Muslim means to be righteous. You
True.
see, so it's it's no reason to go all around rosy and stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just simply means righteousness because that's our nature. And according to the messenger, he says that the first God who created the heavens and the earth is a Muslim. Because it just
Right.
means, you know, his nature is righteous. Like when he designed the universe itself, he designed it on the principle of righteous because that was his nature. You know what I mean? So he chose to fashion all of creation based after his nature. You know, so that's
Mm.
why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that the universe is built on the principle of right. Like the more we do right, the more that empowers us because this is a universe of truth. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so the truth is all of that is parallel to being right, which is our nature.
Right.
So that's all he's saying is that, you know, our nature is to do things, you know, in a righteous way, you
Right.
know,
Right.
not a selfish way, not in
Mm-hmm.
a corrupt way, but a
Mm-hmm.
righteous way.
Right.
So
Right.
basically, that's all a Muslim means. So he said the first guy was a Muslim, you know, because he submit to the laws that he put into motion, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is a divine law. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for us to act according to our nature, you know, or divinity, you know, that's the law that we all under. So if we
Mm-hmm.
say we don't submit to that, then it's like saying you some type of renegade God, you know, that
Mm.
do whatever you
Mm.
want. You know, it's like saying that because that's what devil is. That's why the devil got only a brief time period to rule because he's a renegade. You know what I mean? Going against the nature of the universe itself. So
Right.
that's why his time is limited because falsehood and like um you know being unjust like
Mm-hmm.
can't survive in the universe of truth. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Everything in
Right.
the universe is truth. Like
Yeah.
it has a
Yeah.
mathematical formula to it, mathematical code of truth, and the
Right.
laws are immutable throughout time. You know what I mean? So that's why Satan only has a brief time because
Mm-hmm.
he can't live in a universe full of truth, basically.
Right. Right. The term like Muslim God in the mosque, since you two brothers are like registered in the Nation of Islam, active FOI, how do you, like brothers in the mosque, how do you, just with that term, like Muslim God, would, are they opposed to it or do they, You know, do they see it as themselves? Or, and the reason why I asked that question is because, you know, I remember somebody hit me in the comments one time and they like, oh man, you niggas with that old Muslim God, man, they don't even say that in the mosque. Man, I done asked somebody in the mosque, was they a Muslim God? And they said no, they don't know what that nigga talking about. And you know, and I'm like, brother, are you serious? Do you see how many brothers I have on my channel that's Nation of Islam that, you know, adhere to that? I'm a Muslim and I'm a God. But for some reason, brothers is like, no, they don't. That's just y'all saying that. They don't say. So, like in the mosque, like, you know, do brothers, you know, adhere to that verbiage? You know, Muslim God. You know, together. I mean, I know that they're Muslims and they know that they're gods. But like, if you say, "Are you a Muslim God?" How do you think brothers would, you
But
know?
can I tackle that?
Go
Yeah,
ahead
go
and
ahead.
I'll come in.
Well, my experience, you know, here in the Northeast, right, being from Jersey,
Mm,
um, like you said, the term put together a common, is not like common verbiage, I should say, you know, that
mm,
everyone generally speaks or goes around and says, you know, yeah, I'm a Muslim God. No,
right.
I can't say that I hear a lot of brothers or sisters in the mosque talking with that type of vernacular. What
Mm,
I find is that those of us that have a background from the 5% nation, you know,
mm,
utilize that terminology because we understand both and we come from both, like realizations that the black man is God and he's also Muslim. So, you know,
right.
we put the term together like that as in Muslim God, you know, just
Mm,
to represent or show that we understand and represent both, you know what I mean,
mm,
righteousness and also that, you know, the black man is God.
mm,
So that's I would say that's the general feeling. You see most people that have a background with the nation, but the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad does utilize that term himself. He
right.
utilized that term in the Theology of Time lecture series, where he spoke of the God that is responsible for um, deportation of the moon. You know, he spoke of that guy. He referred to him as a Muslim God. You know, and then he went on further to say basically what I just stated earlier is that the God who created the heavens and the earth is a Muslim God.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying?
Mm,
So the term itself does exist in the Nation of Islam, but it's not like a popular vernacular that everyone is utilizing. From my experience, you know what I mean?
Right.
right.
The
Right.
Mike guy from another part of the country, I'm not sure exactly. He could build on how they get down there.
Mm,
Salam alaikum, peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace to the righteous family. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praise is due forever. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the messenger in Christ in our midst, and the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan is the divine reminder in the Messiah in our midst today. I greet my people in the greeting words of peace of assalamu alaikum. And just as
alaikum
we
salam,
and just
sir.
as we say assalamu alaikum, we know that's Arabic for peace be unto you. So when you look at salam, you've got peace. When you look at Muslim, the foundation of Muslim is peace, one of peace, one of
One of peace.
righteousness.
That's right.
In the dictionary of the Holy Quran, Arabic English,
Mm.
it states when you look up salama or salam, it say to be in sound condition, well, without blemish, safe and sound. Salam, safety, security, immunity, freedom from fault or defects, imperfections, blemish, or vice, peace, obedience, heaven. The word has a much wider meaning than merely abstinence um, from strife and involves prosperity, good health, wholeness, and completeness. So a Muslim in our lesson, it says much to learn in a word. Right? So there are those who say a Muslim is one who submits his will and her will to do the will of Allah. And also the word submit means one who's in obedience to the will of Allah. So a Muslim is one who's complete and whole, but the complete and wholeness come from our being obedient to the teachings, the lessons of Master Farah Muhammad, the teachings and the lessons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teaching, the lesson, and the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we are God by nature. And the lessons, the original man, the original nation, and the original people are all one and the same.
That's right.
And so then in the 1 to 36, an English lesson, C number 1, the question is asked, what is his own self? His own self is a righteous Muslim. So then it goes on to ask, are there any other than righteous? And they say a part of self. If they don't understand or they don't consider themselves as Muslim, they were blind, deaf, and dumb when they were babies. So I understand those who say they are not Muslims. I understand with you. I agree with you. But were you mad, blind, deaf, and dumb when you was a newborn, when you was a baby?
That's right.
So there are those who don't have a thorough understanding of those of us who call ourselves Muslim gods. But as we know, we've come from the 5% background. And we are taught, it's called knowledge of self, right? We are taught that we got to self-identify. How do you see self? How do you see the day's mathematics? It don't ask you, how do you think I see mathematics? It asks, how do you see the day's mathematics? And so there were those of us who mature and grew into a knowledge of ourselves. Those of us who grew into a knowledge of ourselves and self-identified, and with a collective whole of other brothers that came from the foundation of the 5%, that said, my own self is a righteous Muslim, but my nature, I'm God by nature. The black man is God. We either God or we ain't God. Black man is either, the original man is the Asiatic black man, or he ain't the Asiatic black man. The original man is the maker, the owner, or he ain't the maker or the owner. He's the God of the universe, or he ain't the God of the universe. So whatever he self-identified after that, you got a God that smoke weed. He's a weed smoking God. You got a God that drink liquor. He's a liquor drinking God. You identify the person by not what they say they are,
what they
but
do.
what they do. Is that right? And so those who disagree with us calling ourselves Muslim gods, that's because they don't understand that we're the maker. That means we can make and create our own reality when it comes to our knowledge of ourselves. I was taught, and I understand that the Father told them to go get a name out of the supreme alphabet. So he let them go and self-identify who they say they are based on the supreme alphabet. Is that right?
That's right.
But when we do it, when we decide to take and self-identify, somebody got a problem.
Indeed.
And so
interesting point.
We came into the mosque with an understanding that we are Muslim and we are God. And so there are those who I come in contact with when they ask about, because you know I'm a strong representative of the Muslim God, right? I'm my God, Master, I see God, Cypher Divine, the son of Alamel Allah, the elder of the Muslim God. Is that right?
R.I.P. to the elder. Yes, sir.
Oh, praise the
yes,
Lord. And may Allah be pleased with our brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But we are going by the lessons, and we are taking the lessons and we are coming together. The guys are convening on Facebook and we are coming together and we are determining the reality of the Muslim God. And the consensus say that even though they say they never heard of a Muslim God, and remember at one time they asked the question, who is that mystery God? Huh? The same people that never heard of a Muslim God used to believe in a mystery God. And they didn't know how to even identify or say they don't believe in a mystery God until they heard the Muslim God, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Master Farah Muhammad asked the question, who is the mystery God? You can have a mystery God, but you can't have a Muslim God. We need to discuss something like that.
Hey, as far as and the brothers were talking about it earlier, just with the messengers mathematics, in the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And the brothers have a lot of issues with, the messenger said wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He said knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He played around with it and put it in different ways and stuff. How do y'all brothers see that? Because I see the messenger, he used them interchangeably. Sometimes he said knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Sometimes he said wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But the thing is, it always gave understanding. Understanding was always, the product of whatever the messenger put his hands on. It turned out to be a success. So in my mind, I see that his mathematics was correct, no matter which way he wanted to put it. But to y'all, to that point, how do y'all brothers, see that as far as just with the mathematics of Islam that the messenger gave and the father's mathematics that the 5%ers have, the supreme mathematics?
Well,
either one of you, it don't matter who.
I got I don't know if you can see it.
Prince of Love, yeah. Original mathematics, yeah. Yes, sir.
This is the documentation. It says by firstborn Prince Allah. And on this documentation, it said the original mathematics that were taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad were as follow: 1 equal wisdom, 2 equal knowledge, 3 equal understanding, 4 equal culture, 5 equal justice, 6 equal equality, 7 equal Islam. So he said that this is the original mathematics that were taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But to my understanding, that the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, had what was called the science of numbers.
Right.
Yeah. He had the science of numbers. And may Allah be pleased with the great elder Abu Shahid. He said that when he got his hands on the problem book and started sciencing up problem number 13 and understanding the science of number by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he took problem 13 and he came up with living mathematics. He said in the living mathematics, he had 12 numbers, but once he presented the problem book, told Father Allah that he had the problem book, that the father said he didn't have no problem. So the father didn't have the problem book. And so now the living mathematics is presented to the father. Abu Shahid, I think he said he got locked up or something, but when he got back out, they had unscienced up his living mathematics and came up with the supreme mathematics, cut it down to 10 numbers instead of 12. And so the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had living mathematics. But as we know, in the 17th degree of the lessons, it says knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, culture, refinement. Yes, so the whole supreme mathematics start off based on the Muslim lesson number 2, lost found Muslim lesson number 2, from the Muslims who are gods.
That's right. Yeah.
From the Muslims who are gods. I don't care if you call it 1 to 40, 1 to 14. It's still lost found Muslim lesson number 1. And lost found Muslim lesson, we go to the root of civilization.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Indeed. always looked at that too as a reach, you know, as a reach in terms of placing importance on it, you know,
Mm,
in terms of wisdom, knowledge. A lot of guys start that off as a talking point. That's
mm,
why the father was writing exact just from that one minor, you know, I don't even know what to call it actually, you know, indifference, I should say. But
mm,
um when I hear the messenger talk like that or write like that, he never actually places an order to it. Like he never
Right.
says that
right.
wisdom comes first and then wisdom. He just speaks like that, you know, matter of factly, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he never says that that's the particular order. I never read anywhere where he said that, you know, per se. Um, I would say it's kind of like if we having a discussion and I say, you know, bring all the women and children and men in the house. You know, I could make a statement like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think the women and children came first and then the man came. You know, I may just speak in that in no particular order, you know,
That's
to
right.
get the gist. So that's how I always see that. But more importantly more importantly to me is just the fact that you can see the root of what the father established amongst his teenagers. You know, you can see a root when you study the history of the Nation of Islam. You can see that a common thread, you know, to where the father developed it. And you know, even if he came up with it with some thoughts on his own, right? You know, I used to write rhymes back in the day, right? And anybody
Mm,
that write rhymes, sometimes you would realize like that, you know, somebody that came out who's published said the same rhyme I did, you know, and you may have wrote that rhyme before you heard that record.
Right.
You know what
mm,
I mean, right? So sometimes that happens, like you just on the same wavelength for whatever reason. So let's
mm,
just say that the father developed some of his ideas in that manner, which I don't know. You know, maybe he did get a lot of what he learned from the temple. You know, I believe he got a lot of stuff, you know, but maybe not all. Maybe some things was some things that he scienced up himself. But my
mm,
point is that you can see that root, and that's not a bad thing. To me, that just says that we're family. You know, like we was talking earlier, and we spoke of how the devil, right, or the wicked only got a certain time period to be in this universe before before they're destroyed and taken off the planet, right? So
mm,
our lessons say 6,000 years. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach that in the 7,000th year that God come. So he says seven is God number in his
right.
writings. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He said
Good
that a lot
point.
of guys probably
Yeah.
don't know that the
Yeah.
messenger
Yeah.
wrote like that. But that's what he said because six represent the time span of the devil. And then in the 7,000 year, we destroyed them, removed them from power, and then we, you know, build a planet of righteousness. You see, so
Right.
you see it with that. Another place, I found an article that Malcolm X wrote in 1957, which is prior to
Mm,
the father even joining the temple or acquiring the knowledge of himself. And
mm,
the 12 Jews was laid out, was written out. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Clearly, like it was written out, the whole 12 Jews. And I'm just like, wow. You know, so it shows that there is a root. Everything that the father established, you can find the root of it in the Nation of Islam itself. You know, where he brung that branch and he brung that fruit to the young youth. You know, and there's in my mind, there's no struggle of you know who established it first, or you know, I don't
Right.
look at it like that so much. To say, I just look at it like you know, good and bad came out of the nation. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
positive that we was doing and the negative, you know, we was doing. And you know, that's it. It's just a common ground, a
Right.
common thread, you know.
Right.
Um and I wanted to say during the course of this talk or as we go further, like I'll demonstrate that from my findings and stuff when I go and study the teachings. Like I find these common threads like all throughout, and I'm just like,
Right.
wow, you know what I mean? Just like wow, I never knew that. Like for instance, when Minister Freedom was talking about how the father went after the youth, you know. Now, I can't speak for y'all. I can't speak for y'all guys, right? But I felt the God when he said that, right? And I agree with him in terms of this is my opinion. You know, like I said, I can't speak for y'all. I feel that the father outreach to the youth is unmatched, bar none. Like, you know, his program with the youth, I think he had the best program out of any leader I could think of in terms of focus, laser beam focus, right? But that doesn't say that's not to say that the Nation of Islam didn't go after youth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes we go too far in order to prove our point. You know, like I said, laser beam focus is the difference. But I read in the autobiography, right? You can
Malcolm
read
X.
where Malcolm is having a discussion with the messenger, and he asked him, like, how can we get this teaching out there more? And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad plainly told him, go after the youth. He said, if you go after the youth, then, you know, that'll shame the older people, and then they'll come.
Right. Right.
You see, so again, there is that root. There is that common thread that shows that we're a family, you know,
That's right.
because the father came out of the nation, you know. So some like to me like to create the narrative that he came out of the nation for negative reasons. You see what I'm saying? It's like we always have to like to we always have to like pit one against the other, and I don't
Right.
think that's necessary. You know,
Right.
I don't think that's necessary, and that's not to say that there wasn't problems in the nation. Problems in the nation then when he was there, it was problems with him. While he in the nation, there's problems in the nation now, and there's problems with us all. Like, you know,
That's right.
all of us are dealing with refinement. You see what I'm saying?
That's
We're
right.
all dealing with refinement, whether
That's
you in
right.
the nation of God's and earth, whether you in the streets as a savage or you in the mosque. Like we all dealing with refinery. So
Indeed.
there's no need to highlight, you know,
Right.
the negatives amongst us.
Right.
You
Part of
know.
self. Can I add on something, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because I myself is a product of the teachings of the 5% Father Allah. That's how I gained my knowledge itself. And when I decided to come into the ranks of the Nation of Islam, because of my love for Father Allah and for the 5% Nation, I hold on to my foundation, that portal that I came into a knowledge of self with. Now there are those that have a problem with that, but they say, "Oh, you want to wear the flag and you FOY, you want to do this, wait a minute. That's my family. That's my foundation. That's why I came into a knowledge of self. That's my birthplace, the 5%, right? And so I like I said, when I first came in 1985, a young guy working in the military at Fort Leavenworth and a 5%er from Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying? Giving me my lessons in script. I didn't get a whole book. I had to learn it. And so here I am. If I'm working in the tower in the prison, I'm studying the lessons. When I'm off, I'm studying the lessons. I ain't going to hang out with the other soldiers. I'm studying the lesson because when I walk through the prison the next day, I might get approached and ask you, what's the day's mathematics? I go ask you, who's the original man? And so I'm studying, and that's what put me on my path to learn, to study, to have that love for learning. And I was learning of the Father Allah. You see what I'm saying? And so
Right.
now as I mature in who I am, decide, no, I'm not going to throw what the Father taught. I'm not going to throw what I learned as a way. I'm going to add and build to myself going into the Nation of Islam and still hold on to the best part.
Right.
The
Right.
best part. And so when
Mm-hmm.
I build with brothers that's in the 5%, even in my community, I went to a basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked into the basketball, I'm from a small town population, probably 2,000. And I walked in a middle school ball game. From the time I walked in till I got to the end of the bleachers, you could hear young guys and people yelling from the bleachers, "Peace, God! Peace to the God! My God! Peace to the God!" And by the time I got to the end, this guy that was there visiting with the other team, he said, "Are they calling you God?" I said, "You're exactly right." He said, "I never heard or seen anything like that in all my days." Huh? And so
Right.
they wasn't yelling "Salam alaikum, salam alaikum." They were yelling "Peace
Yeah.
God,"
Peace,
because
God.
I'm dealing with the youth in my neighborhood. I'm dealing with the young people in the streets of my neighborhood. So I said, "Oh, I got this from the Father. Let me just say peace God to him and manifest that." And so
Yeah.
that's part of who I am. The Father Allah is part of who I am.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You mentioned holding on to the best part, and that kind of brings me to like the next, thing I was just thinking of, with the flag. Now, when we say we holding on to the best part, but like when you said that, my mind thought about the flag, and I'm thinking about the sun, moon, and stars. Like that's the best part. I'm not going to give that up for nobody, no matter, what group or whatever other individuals I'm around. As far as with the flag of the 5% nation, it has add-ons. The seven, of course, is there, but like the God just broke down, the messenger explained the seven, where he talked about like in the seventh day is
Mm-hmm.
the day of the Lord, the day that the God is gonna, you know what I'm saying? But as far as that, like with the flag situation, how do you see that as far as like with the sun, moon, and stars? And should we be only wearing or only bearing the national with the sun, moon, and star, or anything with that representation? You know what I'm saying? Do you see belonging to you? Do you think, you know what I'm saying? How do you see that?
I know people
You
from
know,
New York, right? And they love New York.
mm,
And basically all my life, when I run into people from New York, they got this fitted on, or they got a cap on. And on that cap,
mm,
they got the New York Yankees. Ain't none of them played for the New York Yankees. But because they love New York and love the New York Yankees, they represent that as a symbol.
ain't even been to a game.
They represent as a symbol. They even got people that ain't even from New York, rocking New York,
Yeah.
right? And so because of my love for the universal flag, and the seven represents the black man. You got knowledge, wisdom, understanding. They say Master Farah Muhammad, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Father Allah is wrapped up in
Hmm.
the flag, right? And so for my
That's
love for
right.
that, I feel I should be able to rock that. You know what I'm saying? Huh? If you were
Yeah.
if when LeBron was with the Cavs, everybody was Cavalier fans because they love LeBron. When they went
Hmm.
down to Miami, they dropped the Cavaliers and they became Miami Heat fans. When he went back to the Cavs, they dropped Miami Heat and became Cavaliers fans. Now
Hmm.
he's a Laker. Now
Hmm.
they Laker fan because of the love they have for LeBron.
Yeah.
That whatever he represent, they represent that. And because of
Right.
my love for the 5% and my love for Father Allah, that universal flag, it's called the universal flag.
That's right.
I feel because I'm a
There's there, there's a connection
there's
there.
definitely a love, a deep love and connection there.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir. Yeah. Good. It's a good point. Good point. Yeah.
So you know what? To me, it's like you can see it in the mathematics or the foundation, right? Like meaning the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the first law in the universe is motion. He said, right? He said it's motion, and then after that is order. So to me, that defines Muslim God. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because we're saying that the motion, we We started as God from the very beginning. But if something is not it, when you have emotion to something, it's not brought into order, then it becomes destructive.
Chaos. Yeah.
So the order represents our nature, which is righteousness. So it's telling you that we're God, we're Muslim God, because we dealing with an order. So everything has to have an order, or else it's chaos. Then you don't have a nation. You have anarchy. You see? So that's the the vibe or the wavelength that we exist on. And that's all we really saying. You know, that we even when we say we submit to a supreme being, right? We're still saying we submit to the righteousness. To, you know, we submit to the righteousness, or how could I say it? One that manifests, you know, that law and mastered that law to the highest degree. But that's still our nature. You see what I'm saying? It's still just our when you look at the Father, right? It's no different than the Father moving amongst his nation, right? They're all gods. They're all gods, but they bearing witness that he has a certain order about himself. You see what I'm saying? That they have to submit to in order to learn and grow, you know, so they could qualify themselves as a god, or show and prove, I should say, because we are God automatically, but we have to look to others in order to learn how to show and prove it, right? So you know this is true because the whole mantra of the nation is to teach the babies. Why are we teaching the babies? Because we're being an example to them, so they can see, you know, the ways and actions of God, so they can manifest their godhood.
Right.
So that's just the nature of life itself, you know. And the only way you can do that is by being quiet, observant, you know, and learning. You know, it's not to say that we're robots. It's not to say that you couldn't learn something outside of what the Father taught.
Right.
You know, but there's an order there, and you see it present when certain gods. To me, I take that as out of order when certain gods like challenge his authority, so to speak, right? Like you have ABG. ABG started calling himself Allah. You know what I mean? And some of the firstborns in them had a problem with it, but he was so swift, you know, he was so swift and powerful as a young god, they couldn't really deal with him, so they went to the Father about it. Say, "Oh, Father, ABG running around calling," you know, I think he was calling himself Bilal at the time, right? Bilal. And they told him he calling himself Allah. So the Father response was, he gonna have to show and prove that. You see what I'm saying? Like, so he's basically telling you that it's an order to things. Like, this the nation that I founded. You don't come up here and try to take my seat of authority. You see, that's why he said that, show and prove that. Like, and he says something similar to Robert Walker. You know, so that's another reason I wanted to do this show, just to touch on Alamar history as a tribute to the God. You know, that because he walked this road as a Muslim God. And, you know, Robert Walker, right, who was alive in the wisdom body, he was a student that the Father took on while in Madawan. He's the same thing. You know, he kind of, I don't want to say big-headed. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but he was equating himself to the Father. So the Father told him, you're going to have to go out and create your own nation, show and prove. You know what I mean? But not here. And that's what Robert Walker did. He went out and started his own nation. You see what I'm saying? Because there's an order to things.
That's right.
Right? So that's what we say when we speak on Master Fard Muhammad, or you see us going down a chain of command from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Minister Farrakhan. It's not saying that we suppress our godhood. It's just that we follow order, because that's the nature. That's the law of the universe itself, is motion, right? And the spiral, and then order is brought to that motion, or else it'll become destructive. And that's what you see with the devil civilization, is that he just moving about. But right now, the world is 100% dissatisfied because everybody moving without no type of order. So, you know, that's just the science. Movements. That's just the science of it. You know, but Alamar you know, he as they say, he walked them dogs, you know, and qualified themselves as a Muslim god during that time, because they was kind of like the first Muslim gods. You know, I think he called
Yeah,
himself the firstborn Muslims. That's what he
yeah.
called his students, Robert Walker,
Firstborn Muslims. Yeah,
firstborn Muslims. And you know, you seen it then, you seen it with Katana Ali, right? And
mm,
also there was a young group of teenagers out of Brooklyn that went back into the mosque, and it was about, I want to say like 50 of them, and they went back into the mosque, you know, because they learned that these lessons that they was learning, the source of it came from the temple, so they went back to the temple. So it's just a natural progression, and it's just weird to me that sometimes you have some in the nation, not all in the nation of God's earth, but you have a faction that kind of, you know, shun that, or, you know, try to
mm,
shame brothers for doing that, when everyone knows the Father himself sent people back into the mosque. He said because some of us need discipline, you know, naturally, especially he running around teenagers. Like, you become 13, 14 years old, you think you know everything. You begin to start forming your own ideas of the world, and you know,
mm,
you on a rebellious type of stage. So some of them
mm.
might have been too wild. He like, yo, go into the mosque and get some discipline, because you know, you moving around without order, you gonna fall into destruction, right? So to me, it's strange because some of us from the nation of gods and earths is okay if somebody go and join the military. You know, nobody have no problem. You wearing two flags, you wearing the American flag, and you know, you have your universe flag, your universal flag. So,
Good
but
point.
no one says anything. But the minute you join God's army, is a problem. You in the devil's army, it's okay. No one says nothing. You know, even the father who came out of the military, he had a respect for the military, right? And you
Right.
see that in his sons, right? You see that in his sons, like, they don't disrespect the military or that hit part of his history and career. He learned martial arts there. You know, he won a medal, you know, so that's dealing with bravery. That's dealing with the
Hmm.
science of war. Like, it's plenty of things that he learned from there. So it's like, but if you come join the army of God and you learn things from here, you learn how to the chain of command, you learn structure, you all of a sudden not God no more. You all of a sudden an inferior God. Like, you know, so it's just
That's
like
that's
these myths
that's
that
that's
we
that's, that's a good point, though. Excellent point. Yeah, because you're right. I mean, you never hear nobody in the NGE, you know, talk down about the father's military experience, or and what the knowledge and stuff that he learned in the military and stuff, But yeah, the nation, that military, yeah, he ain't learned nothing there, man. He came in there trying to teach them, Elijah didn't know, so he had to teach him, and it just gets crazy after that. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
Yeah, because the father acquired a lot of skill in the U.S. military.
See,
You know what I'm
we
saying? That
gotta
was
develop
useful.
we have to develop respect for one another on both ends, right?
Right.
Hmm.
And so I say that to say that sometimes you find some of us in the Nation of Islam, right, that may have not encountered brothers and sisters from the Nation of Gods and Herbs. Like, you may live in a city where you don't really know one of them personally. You see what I'm saying? So you may have a negative connotation if that's how it was expressed to you, if that's how it
Right.
was introduced to you. You're like, ah, the father was a hypocrite, you know, he left the temple, and me personally, I don't see it like that. You know, I
Right.
think that Allah doesn't waste the work of a worker.
That's right.
You see? So some of us are gonna be attracted to the wisdom in different ways. Like, we're
Right.
not all gonna hear a lecture and say, you know what, that resonates with me. You know, let me be a part of this. Like you said, some people gonna hear the knowledge and be in the dice hall shooting dice. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna happen, you know.
Right.
But we all walking towards righteousness. So I salute the Father. Like that. That's my
Indeed.
reason. You know, I
Indeed.
identify what Mike God said earlier. Like, and I didn't get knowledge of self solely through the 5% nation. I got knowledge of self from the temple first, Then I went amongst the gods, right? And then back into the temple. But I always had a love and a respect for the Father because I was a teenager searching for knowledge. And I always loved the fact that he was a man that represented knowledge to the youth that was searching for it. You know, so
Mhm.
for me, I'll forever love him, Justice, and Abu the Firstborns, all of them, just for their outreach, because I know it takes love and it takes effort to do that. You know, they ain't getting
Right.
paid. None of us getting a check. You know what I mean? You got a check, my guy? You got a check I don't know about?
Nah, they ain't sent it yet. I'm waiting on that.
Yes, sir. Man, you both love it. Like, so I love and
Yeah.
respect those that put in this labor, man, because it's a labor of love. So
Mhm.
for my young mind, you know, coming amongst the gods, I just fell in love with the Father. To be
Yeah.
honest, like, you know, not to be down. You know, I don't do it to be cool because it was cool. Like, you know, keep it real in the '80s. If you was a guy, like, you was seen as cool. Like, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't attracted to the wisdom out of you know, protection or none of that type of stuff. It's just the love of knowledge, the love of my people. And I seen that in the Father. I've seen him as a humble man, as a righteous man. And, you
Mhm.
know, that's the love.
That's
So
right.
I
Yeah.
wear this shirt right here in respect and honor of that. You know, not to have some type of sibling rivalry with the NGE. Like, I feel like
Right.
we all
Right.
have our own understanding, and we should be able to exist, you know, in whatever stage of development we exist on, you know,
Mhm.
without
Mhm.
criticizing and trying to destroy one another.
Right.
Right. I was gonna say we know, like according to scriptures, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we say is the, the seven when the seven seal, it talks about that angel in the book of Revelation when the seven trumpet is blown and we see that as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but like you said, some people would probably see that as the father because they got that message by way of the father. What I'm saying, they wasn't able to get to a mosque or didn't get a chance to build with a FOI or brother on the street or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, for them that could be the seventh trumpet. What I'm saying, that sounding of the horn for them. You know what I
Indeed.
mean?
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Of
And you know,
course.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
I run into a lot of family members, people I know that works in the prison
Mm,
in my area,
mm,
and when they hear 5%, they just, to them they're being taught that they are gang,
yeah.
and so when they run into me, I get to teach them other than that about me. I say, look, this is what the government called them. This is, I said,
Mm,
I'm a 5%er. You see me running around here banging on this and doing that now? I said, no. I said, that's what the 5% is about. They ain't about gang banging, this and that,
right.
So even when I stood up with people in the church and start teaching ye all God's children of the Most High God, and I'm teaching this and that. I use the mathematics. I use that uh, I bring that to them. I bring
Mm,
that to the people that don't know because I know. I This is one of the books I've been studying that
okay.
I that I,
Yes,
that
sir.
I downloaded from that I paid for Kimda
Mm-hmm.
because I support that reality. I get
Yes, sir.
anything that I can get that deals with giving me a better understanding of those who were the firstborn, those who were there. Okay, now I need to study this. I need to hear from them. I
Right.
watch if I watch if mega videos. I
Mm-hmm.
watch anything that come across when they coming from Mecca. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Or another
Yes, sir.
God is on you. Let me boom. Okay, so a new video. Oh, I ain't get to see this. I go, why? Because that's my family. I love them brothers.
I
You
watched
know what I'm
one of his
saying?
videos today, God.
It's his. And and like you said, it ain't all of them, but it's too many that see us striving to show our love for that which we love and might have a
mm-hmm.
problem with it. It's not. It's not. We're not. I'm especially. I can speak for me. I'm not the aggressor. I'm usually let me defend why I call myself a Muslim God. I had a brother walk up to me, and we started greeting me, boom, boom, boom. We build it, da da da, and then he said, "Yo, where do they build around here?" I said, "Well, I'm in the Nation of Islam." Now we done went through all this here, and when I said, I'm in the Nation of Islam. Yo, how you wearing that flag? Blah 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 blah. Now you got a problem with me. We was all good for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of us building. I show it and prove, boom, boom, boom. But as soon as I said, I'm in the Nation of Islam now. Why you can't be wearing it, da da da. So now you got a problem with me. I said, and I was like, to my understanding, there's no leader in the Nation of God. And the father level leader said, no, there ain't no leader. I said, so you can't tell me what I can and what I can't do, right? I can't wear, because you ain't no leader.
Right.
I had a similar situation one time in federal prison. I was with a couple brothers. These dudes was some Philly cats, and they Sunni Muslims. And I had just got on the compound, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to them, and I ain't say nothing about no Elijah Muhammad, ain't nothing about no Mustafa Muhammad, black man. I'm just building with them. We talking about Islam, Prophet Muhammad, da 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 da. And one of the brothers like, yeah, yo, Ak. He was calling the other dude that was over there with me. Yo, Ak, yo, time for Zuhr, time for prayer, to come in or whatever. So the brother looked at me, was like, yeah, come on, Aki, make prayer with us or whatever. And before I could even say yay, nay, or what I'm saying, like, it was another brother that knew me, and he was like, yo, he NOI. And then the brother, like, he looked at me. He was like, the other dude from Philly, he was like, you NOI, you Nation? And I was like, yes, sir. And now, like you just said, after we done stand there, the boom, 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 did all that, you know what I'm saying? That, like all of a sudden they got a problem now. Like, what's the problem? Right. We were just building on the love of Islam and Prophet Muhammad, and then, like all of a sudden,
listen,
yo, them brothers ain't ain't peace me no more.
Look,
like if I said salam alaikum to them, they'll just they would just say peace, or they'll just be like, when I say walaikum salam, walaikum salam, walaikum, walaikum. Because there's a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said if a disbeliever, gives you the greeting, you don't know the sincerity in that greeting, if he's just making jokes or he's really sincere, but just say, and on you, be this, to you be the same thing, walaikum. So the brothers would always just have it, walaikum, brother, walaikum. Yeah. Like, there you go.
Yeah, I saw them do that before here in Jersey too.
Yeah.
I want to say this, guy, like this, and this go across the board too, not just the NGE, but Sunni and all across the board. Like, really, when you come from this culture, right, from the lessons, really all you expressing is an idea, right? And you think about it. You think about the resistance and the negative outpour you get just from saying to people that God is a black man, and that our time to rule this planet is now. Let's unite. Like, that's all we saying. That's all we saying to the NGE. That's all we saying to the Sunnis, to the Christians, like everywhere on earth. And it's like people frown upon that and want to go to war as if that's a terrible idea. You know what I mean? Like, we had no problem when God was showing favor to the Israelites. You thought they was white, or to the Christians. You felt all right. Like, it was no problem. But as soon as you say that God is the black man and we the elite and we gonna build his kingdom, not even that other people can't be in the kingdom. We just saying we the foundation though. Like, we are gonna build it and we'll be the models for the rest of the world. And it's like, that's just a terrible idea. So from the NGE part of things, it strikes me as strange, because all we saying is that, there's an order to Godhood. You see what I'm saying? We're saying there's a hierarchy to the
Right.
godhood. And it's like that's something blasphemous, but you see that in the nation. You see that
Right.
from the
Mhm.
father, the elders, the
The
firstborns, right?
firstborns.
So we want to act as though the father was accessible to everyone. And that's not true. I
Right.
was just
Right.
watching a video earlier
Yeah, the
today.
one with Alamel. I think you pointed that out to me too. I forgot what Alamel said, that the father didn't even really allow them to be around the elders, grown men like that. They're teenagers.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alamar made that manifest. When he struck me, when the God said it, I'm like, word, because I knew that. But when he said it, it just like drove it further home. Like, so a lot of
Hmm.
guys can't even say that they was in the Father's presence. Like, you'll hear some
Right.
say, I met him or I saw him, right? But
Right.
you had to qualify to be around him. So you would have to
Right.
go through his firstborn and things of that nature. You couldn't just hang around him. Like, I was
Right.
listening to a video today from the People's Podcast with Brother Joshua Muhammad, and he had a
Mm.
guest, a brother from New York, and he said he came around in the 60s. He said the first time he saw the father was at Mount Morris Park, which is now Marcus Garvey Park in Harlem. And he said
Mm.
he was building with like 200, youth out there. But he said he never like formally was had a conversation with the father or was around him like that. So
Mm.
you see that same hierarchy amongst us. Everyone didn't see the father, or they didn't see him or have access to him like that. Plus, he was locked
Right.
up a lot. On top of
Yep.
that, you see what I'm saying? So people have a problem if we say that, Masfar Muhammad, or if we say the 24 scientists don't make themselves readily available. It's some blasphemous thing. When that is the order of the day. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? In every nation, you don't
Right.
just
Right.
hang around the president of the United States or the head of your company. You know what I mean? That's not
Mhm.
natural because
Right.
their godhood is elevated. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I'm not saying that to be, how can I say, egotistical. It's just
Mm.
that when your godhood is elevated, you're gonna deal with people on your level. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? If you
Right.
cast a jewel to someone that you're trying to bring them up, you may do that, but you don't make it yourself your business to hang around people that's not on
Fraternize
your
with them.
level in that way.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
that's why every nation, right, or every company has a structure that will bring you up and you rise through the ranks. You
Yes,
see what I'm
Yeah.
sir.
saying? That's the natural order of things. So when we talk about Masfar Muhammad, you say he a mystery God. Like, that's not what the lessons say. The lessons don't say he's a mystery God.
That's right.
It doesn't say that. It said that a mystery God is something that don't exist, right? The
Right.
Can't
the
be
the
seen with
24
the.
scientists reserve the right to stay hidden. They don't have to be
Right.
amongst you. Just like the
Right.
father didn't have to be amongst you, or the firstborn, the elders, Abu Shahid, they said disappear. You know what I mean? For decades. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that in a mysterious way. I'm not saying that,
Right.
Mhm.
where he was going through
Right.
whatever cycles he was going through. But my
Right.
point is that don't make him a mystery God because he ain't amongst the gods.
He ain't
So
come
the
He's
out and
not
same
here
hang
right
thing,
out
now.
with. He ain't come out and hang out with them and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But part itself, I'm getting a lot of texts and stuff. So I'm with the family. So I need to get off so I can see what's going on. I think something's going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We finna shut it down anyway
Okay.
too, because it's what I'm saying. I gotta get my thing to put on my charger too, my battery, and I think I left it all the way in the other room.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it was good building with you guys though,
Indeed.
man. Like I
Indeed.
said,
All
we gonna,
praises to.
yeah, jump back on again, inshallah. Y'all brothers enjoy, the rest of y'all, weekend.
Do the
You know what I'm
same.
saying? I know the ball's gonna drop in a few days, so y'all be safe. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
yeah, yeah. Anything y'all brothers say before y'all go?
Hey, love y'all, brothers. Love the
Love you too,
universal
God.
love y'all,
family of
and
gods.
Yes, sir. Love you too,
All
God.
right. Peace to the
peace to
gods.
Allah. May Allah be pleased with
Oh,
the God.
indeed. Oh, indeed.
Yes, sir. May Allah be pleased.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Salam alaikum. Peace to the gods.
Peace.
Peace.